So when you look at that and you think about the environment and everything like that, what happens is with all different people have different gifts. One of the gifts of the indigenous people is to bless the earth. And we are the only race of people that has in our songs a part that blesses the earth. At the end of every song, it's automatically blesses the earth. When that last part is sung, hey, hey, that goes out over all of North America and blesses all of North America. At the same time, when that song first starts, it goes into the hereafter, and it calls whatever spirits want to come down to be with us, especially those that need to learn something and to learn like how we're acting here on the earth. And at the same time, we know that we have to have that pipe. We know that we have to have that sage, and that prayers have to be said. We have to create a safe place for those people, those spirits to come over here and to be with us. They want to come, the spirit people, the sky people, they want to come and be with us. They are always with us, always watching us, always whispering to us things that we have to do and say. It has been my thought for probably at least 30 years that the way that they put in Ottawa, the way they put people in charge of different things, is they stick a guy in charge of the environment that probably doesn't know anything about the environment at all, or they stick a guy in charge of Indian affairs that doesn't know anything about Indians. Like, they just stick anybody anywhere that doesn't know anything about what they're actually stuck in. But I think, and I really believe this, and I'm so sad that that we don't follow up on the chances that we get. But I think that in charge of the environment, there should be an Indian department in there. And what I mean by Indian is, I don't mean people that come from East India, but I mean people that come from Canada, North American Indigenous people that are here. They are the ones that should be in charge of the environment. Why? Because they are closest to the environment. When the First World War and Second World War happened, there was more Indigenous people went over there than any other race of people when they realized they had to fight for their country, that Hitler might take over the world. And so they went. They were ready to go and fight to save their country, because we love our country. When we think of I remember this one young man, I won't say his name, but he was taught so much by his grandmother. She was 107, and she taught him how his body and the land outside where they were totally in total communication with each other. The blood vessels, the mind, the hair, the hands, all different parts of his body, inside, how everything totally was represented by the earth. And that's the kind of teachings that we need for somebody to be in the environment, is something like that. I have a son that is extremely brilliant in the environment. And I remember once I went to Suzuki, and I told him, I said, I'd like you to meet my son, talk to him. Oh, he said, you just want to help your son. And I thought to myself, no. I said, I want to help you. If you met him, you'd learn something. But, yeah, so there's people that, there's proper people that should be in charge of things. And I really believe the Indigenous people of North America should be in charge of the environment, because we had land control, we had crop rotation, we had everything before anybody ever came here. When satellites now, they take pictures of the earth, there's certain areas that look different. Why? Because they had crop control right at that time like that. So you think, okay, what do you mean by that? Well, look at the buffalo, for instance. Buffalo left a lot of manure. When they left a lot of manure, things grew up very nice. And the buffalo didn't stand in one spot for the rest of their life. They moved from Canada down to the United States. When the Indians needed something over there in the east, they drove the buffalo herds that way, like that. The buffalo herds there, and they knew that the value of what the buffaloes could give to the earth. And so, like, everything was, there was a cycle there. The buffalo ate the grass, and then he returned to the earth. Us, we eat what's on the earth, and we return to the earth. And hopefully, that if we look after the earth in a good way, hopefully when future generations come and we are the earth, they will look after us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a circle of life, and that circle has to be respected. And it seems that at this point, it's only the Indigenous people that have that understanding. And it is, what will happen is this: the government, they will hear that, they'll hear programs like this, they will hear that, and somebody will think and say, I know that. I was told the same thing. They will say that, and eventually that'll happen, whereas they won't just stick anybody in charge of fisheries or in charge of hunting, or they'll stick Indigenous people, because we are the ones that have done that all our lives. It's born right into our DNA, such as killing is born into the DNA of non-native people, you know, because we try to make things live. And it seems that in this country here, one of the things that most non-native people do is they destroy the rivers, destroy the air, destroy the land. That fracking that's going on right now. What I found out is that every time they frack one lake, it takes 6 lakes. They destroy 6 lakes in order to frack one lake. That fracking, and so you know, and like when you go into the north or anywhere, and right beside the highway, there's all those bushes. But if you go up near a quarter mile and look, right behind there, everything is stripped. But right beside the road, everything looks like there's nothing touched. And so a lot of people don't know that, you know. So people are very gullible.
Just stop along the highway in anywhere in the mountains, and you walk, you know, that mile in, and there's no trees.
Yeah,
it's for the image.
Yeah, that's the image. That's right. Yeah.
But I heard Buffy St. Marie say once. She said you can't really blame the Munyas or white people for the state of the world, because this is what they've been taught. And they've been taught this for thousands of years. They've gone through empires and hierarchy where people have been killing and raping and pillaging and destroying. And the people who came over here 500 years ago, Christopher Columbus, 500 years ago, he was escaping, you know, the Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition, which was torturing people. And they came over here and they applied the exact same methods that they met with the Indigenous people. And so even today we're still doing that. We're trying to get out of it, but it's a very long and difficult road.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Robert, because we're all in this together, and every one of us has to work with each other, and we've got to get out of this mess that we're in. Not one of us can stand aside, like the Indigenous people cannot stand aside and do that. Nobody can stand aside as the exact ones that are right. Everybody has to get into it. Everybody has to get into it. So strange that it would take a woman and children to get that started. The woman, she protested, and the children said, idle no more. They followed that, idle no more. Idle no more means get off your butt and do something.
Well, thank you very much, Winston. You go say it.
Hey.